And we are live, baby, live tonight from the Outer Rim in what is another gorgeous night here at Urza's Hollow Table Hall. And guys, we are back with what is the third or fourth developer Q&A session they've done since Top Hat has officially kind of taken over the reins over there. Don't believe any of that Mark Dickinson stuff. That guy's just got a title, and he was already on the payroll. Top Hat, as far as we can tell, is the guy calling the shots over there. So yeah, Hall, I love to be talking to you guys about Grand Arena right now, but there is no Grand Arena this week. So I guess I better make some videos. I know, guys, I know. Anyways, let's have some fun, guys. I'm going to read these questions. I'm going to respond. You ready, Hall? Let's hit it, baby. So the first topic we're going straight to here, Hall, is a question about content. Basically, the question is, there is nothing to do in the game for endgame players. What are they doing to address this? CG Viking responds and basically says it's in their DNA. Everybody loves Star Wars in the game. They're working on new features, not progression features, but content features. They won't come out in the short term, but it is coming. I don't know. I kind of feel a little... I mean, that's their statement. It's basically saying a whole bunch about nothing. Basically saying we have people on staff. They do work. And you can't expect any of that work to come anytime soon. The good thing here, the one silver lining I see here, guys, is that they are talking about not progression features, but content features. So that is the most important thing. They did call that out. Next question that's kind of interesting here is a question about the Mandalorian, the new show on Disney Plus that's coming out on November 12th. There's a question here, are they going to add more bounty hunter kits to the game that are coming from that show? And the response came in from Top Hat, not at the moment, potentially next year, no promises. Which is surprising to me. I mean, they have content that is handed to them by Disney, but I guess it doesn't adhere to their roadmap or whatever. That just seems shocking to me that they wouldn't capitalize on this moment. I mean, we got all these characters for Rogue One, and there's nothing in the cards, in the immediate cards, to support the release of The Mandalorian. I mean, they've known about The Mandalorian for some time now. So I guess all their effort is going into Episode 9, which is surprising. Considering that most of the people that I talk to in my community are more excited about The Mandalorian than Episode 9. So the next question I want to talk about here is, can you add the ability to remove squads during the setup phase of a GAC and or a TW? That way, if you accidentally select the wrong squad or character and realize a different strategy, you can fix your mistake. And this is something that impacted me just this last round of Grand Arena. Thought I was editing my Resistance team. Thought I was in that squad builder editing section. Turns out I had clicked one back too far, and I was actually setting defense. I did not pay attention and set a JTR Resistance team to the back zone in my territory. Fortunately, that team ended up winning me the whole thing. I looked at the clock and I was like, I've got 3 hours left till GAC starts. I should be able to change this, and I wasn't able to do that. So let's see what they say here. I do this myself all the time, and I feel terrible about it in TW. So it's high up on the list of quality of life improvements we want to make soon. And then they expanded on that. This is in our list of updates to GAC. We are investigating the next client release. The current implementation is punishing and needs to be fixed. So that's positive news there. That's something that's needed to be fixed for a very long time. And you have guild leaders and guild officers that need to pull squads out of TW so the defense can be as stout as possible. And obviously the mistakes that happen in GA when you're thinking you're on the other screen that I just illustrated. So good stuff there. All right, guys, let's move on to some lore-based questions here. And the question is Darth Sidious ever going to get the Separatist tag like Django? And they go on to say that Darth Sidious was the true mastermind behind both the Separatists and the Galactic Republic under the guise of Palpatine. Django worked directly with the Separatists for the entire time he was on screen during Attack of the Clones. They basically say that's why he got the tag, and his payout was tweaked as well. They say Sidious split the time between the two factions, so it was basically hard to justify giving him the tag and then updating his kit along with that. So I think if that is the criteria for reworking someone like Django and giving them that tag, I think Fulcrum Ahsoka should be considered for that as well. She was always on screen doing things with the Phoenix Squad during Rebels. Basically, the whole time she was on the show, she was in support of Phoenix. So while she says she's not a Jedi, and I know this conversation's been brought up many times, I think if that's the criteria you're going off of, being on screen with the faction, and I think you can certainly make a case for Fulcrum Ahsoka, who definitely needs that to bump her character up, give her a nice little upgrade. So there you go, guys. Okay, guys, next question here. We're going to stay on the theme of characters. They're asking why they chose to go with ARC Trooper instead of actually naming the character Havoc, even though Havoc didn't have the 501st tag. He goes on to expand in his question around the logic. But they basically say that you answered your own question. He needed to centerize your General Skywalker. There needed to be like a 501st synergy there. And so they had to go with the generic art trooper instead of like Jesse to ease up on the art department, which is shocking to me, guys. I don't know why they don't do more of this. Like, we have characters like TFP, classic character. Everybody loves their TFP and their Palp team. We have characters like Range Trooper, perfect for that, perfect for your trooper team. And then we have like First Order Officer. Like, we should be getting way more of those characters. They're simple kits. They're easy to understand. They're effective, they do good work, and they already have most of the art assets built for all this stuff. So it's very surprising to me that they don't do more things like this with ARC Trooper. So the next question we're going to talk about is a ship question here. And for those of you guys that don't know, my ships are absolute garbage. And I made the comment to my community that I was considering whaling on the Y-Wing to help out my Galactic Republic fleet because, you know, obviously it's coming back to Grand Arena with ships, and I need to be able to be competitive there. So I'm considering whaling on the Y-Wing, and this has exactly to do with that. How is the Vulture droid able to keep up with the power that Relic 7 is giving other pilots? So they said, for Vulture, Hyena, and Y-Wing, all crewless ships so far, we have made sure that their stats are scaled in a way that they will be remaining competitive and vital parts of their fleet at current maximum Relic level. We had to be very careful that a maxed out crewless ship wasn't dominant in terms of how much it was invested into it, i.e. melted face against non-Relic enemies. It was a very fine line, but our internal testing, shows the results we're aiming for with these ships. So I don't know, it's a little bit of a caution for me because I do plan on whaling for Y-Wing because that's going to be my go-to fleet. I'm hard into the Negotiator right now, and I just can't spin that around and go back toward Malevolence if that's the ship that comes out, or dark or light side GOTB. So an interesting thing there. I will say I don't really put too much stock into this. If they want to make money and they want to increase the bottom line, which seems is their primary focus in the second half of 2019 here, it's all been cash grabs. You're damn right, these ships, Hyena and Y-Wing and Vulture, they're going to be very good at high level, and I think that if they want to make money, they just have to be good. It's that simple. The next question just sort of makes me laugh here, guys. It actually makes me laugh. The question is, if I report someone for cheating in GA, does someone ever check it? The answer is from Top Hat, yep. I sit next to Lucifer's daddy, and I can tell you he reviews cheater reports all day long. Well, I will tell you, Top Hat, I sent a direct message via Discord over to CG Eric, and it went completely ignored about a very blatant cheater that all the game changers and everybody in my community agreed was a cheater, and it went completely ignored, and no one ever got back to me on that. So that makes me laugh. That is absolute comedy, and it's complete bullshit that you guys say that you're on all these different channels. Crumb said it up top about being on Discord and Slack and all sorts of other things. Yeah, I message you guys directly and I get zero response. So I hope that cheater that I went against was dealt with. And this is the last question I'm going to cover, guys, is how many man hours does it take to create a new character here, start to finish? And CG Viking responds, it takes us entirely too long to make new characters, and it's something we want to address. I can't tell you the number of person hours, but we'll say that we start working on most characters several updates before they are released, with the bulk of that time being spent on balance. And what I will say to that is, it is crazy to me, and I talked about it a little bit earlier, they have all these art assets in the game, and I feel like their idea of making a new character is like these legendary, like Malik, and these huge experienced characters where they're endgame content. Everything doesn't have to be focused on the end game. You can have filler. You can have stuff that is not super impressive. You can have, where are my two Tuskens that we've talked about for 4 years now? It's like you started that faction and you never finished it. No one's asking for the Tuskens to be the dominant meta team. We know you have art assets for Tusken Brute, Tusken Elder. We know you have that stuff in the game. Why can't we just get some generic kits to fill out that faction? It doesn't seem like it has to be this overly complicated thing. It's like, why can't we have one guy at the studio? That's all his job is, to fill out these C-tier characters and put them into the game just to spice it up, just to add variety, just to have constant releases going out there. You guys have the art assets. Just do it. All right, guys, that about wraps it up. Let me know what you guys are thinking about all of these Q&As that have been going on and how you feel about the overall state of the game. Leave me a comment down below. Do hit that like and subscribe button. I guess I'll go back to making some videos since there's no GAC right now. With that being said, guys, get to your ship safely. I'm issuing the evacuation code. Good night from the Outer Rim, everyone.